Good evening, everybody. So, in today's experiment, we are going to calculate the standard deviation, the mean, and the error bar. So, basically, before we start the assignment, before we start, you know, I'll just copy the values assigned to me. So basically I'll copy all these values into a new Excel file. Okay, and now I'll copy this. Now I'll click here and I'll go to Excel. I'll open the new file. And after opening the new file, I'll paste this. I'll paste the values here. So as you can see, these are the values for vaccine trial group 1 patients, and this is the value for vaccine trial group 2 patients, and corresponding to this is the immunity response of each of the patients. So before we begin, we have to find out mean and standard deviation. So I'll write it here, that is, we have to calculate mean and standard deviation. So before we start, first of all, to calculate the mean or standard deviation, we need to know the formula. So first of all, we are going to calculate the mean. So before we calculate, the formula for mean, that is equals to average. Then I'll click this column, and after clicking this column, I'm going to click enter. So as you can see, my mean value came out to be 26.26. So basically this mean value is for group 1 patients. Now similarly, I'll calculate the mean value for group 2 patients as well. So in order to calculate the mean value, I can do the same thing, or instead of doing that, because that would be a very a long process, so instead of that, using a shortcut, I'll use Control-C option, and then I'll paste the same thing here, and it will automatically come out to be 20.08. So the mean value of group 2 patients are coming out to be 20.08. Okay. So basically, before we start the calculation for standard deviation, the formula for standard deviation is obviously just a sec. Okay. So now for calculating the value of standard deviation, the formula for standard deviation is equals to STDEV. Then we will select all these columns, and after selecting all these columns, we'll press enter. As you can see, my standard deviation value for group 1 comes out to be 22.39. The same thing goes for my group 2 patients. As you can see, my standard deviation value for group 2 patients is coming out to be 15.27. Now after calculating this, after calculating the mean value and the standard deviation value for both of the group 1 and group 2 patients, now we will plot a graph. So before we plot a graph, I'll write these values separately. So that is the mean value. Okay, and this would be the standard deviation. This would be for this would be for group 1. Okay, So my mean value for comes okay, there's some problem here. Okay, no worries, I'll write it as it is. So my mean value comes out to be 26.26078. Okay, now for the group 2, my mean value is 20.08889. Okay, then my standard deviation value for group 1 is 22.39354. Okay. Now my standard deviation value for group 2 patients would be 15.277746. Okay. It is 277. Yeah, it's 2. Okay. Oh, I guess there's some problem here. This is the mean for. Okay. Yes, just a second. 15.27746. Yes, I got it now. Now, as I got these values here, now I'm going to be plotting the graph. So in order to plot a graph, I'll be selecting only the group 1 and the mean value. After selecting this, I'll go to the insert option and then I'll click on graph, and I'll choose 2D graph because that is more preferable. And I'll paste this graph, I'll adjust this graph here, and then I'll click to the plus sign, and then I'll go to axis title. I'll change the axis title to mean, and this axis title will also this axis this axis title is also getting changed, and it will be groups. Yes. Okay, now it is just okay. Now it's like this. So we have to plot the error graph. So for plotting the error graph, we will click the plus sign, then we will go to the error bars. As you can see, if we click the error bars, it is showing the error bars now. Now we'll go to the more option, and after going to the more option, you can see there is plus sign, the minus, and you can also select both. But if you select the plus sign, you'll just be able to see the plus sign of the graph, and if you click the minus sign, you'll just be able to view the minus sign or the minus part of the graph. So if you want both, so click on both, because that would be that would be great. So now I want to plot my error bar. So I'll click on specify value, and after clicking on specify value, I'll set my positive and negative error value as my standard deviation. So I'll click on the standard deviation, and as you can see, my value has been changed. Now I'll do the same for the negative error value, and I'll click on standard deviation, and my value gets changed. Okay, so if I click the OK button, then you can see my the graph you can see now is sorted out, and now the graph is completely correct. So as you can see here, I have plotted the graph here. So before we do the next thing, so the next thing is, what are the, just a sec, I'll just copy this and then I'll just paste it into the new Excel sheet. So basically, yes, I have to now calculate the p-value, because as you can see, I've already calculated the mean and the standard deviation for both group 1 and group 2, and here are the mean and the standard deviation, and plus I even plotted the graph for this error bar graph. Now I'll come to this question, and then this question here says, are the mean vaccine immune responses between the vaccine trial group 1 and group 2 different? And if so, then we have to explain it using the p-value. So basically, I'll calculate the p-value, but before we calculate it, I'll write here a few 2 points here in relation to p-value. That is, if my p-value is greater, then it will be less statistically significant, sorry, statistically significant. Okay, and if my p-value is less, then it will be more statistically significant. I'm really sorry because I'm not a fast typer, so please bear with me. So now we have to calculate the p-value. So in order to calculate the p-value, I'll go to the Google Chrome, and I've already pasted the link for this from the chat area, and now I'll click this link, and this will be the screen that will be visible to you. So before you go and do anything, okay, why it is like this? It's there is some problem. Just a second. Okay, so not a big problem. I'll go to Teams and I'll just copy it once again. So this is the link. I'll just copy link, and then after copying the link, I'll just directly go to this link. Yes, and now you can see we have the mean value, the standard deviation value SD, and here the n is the number of entries. So basically for me the number of entries was 7 both in each. So my standard deviation value for group 1 and group 2 were, okay, just a second. Yes, group 1 and group 2 standard deviation value. So group 1 standard deviation value, I'll just copy it from here, and then I'll just paste it here. Then I'll just go and copy the mean value, and then I'll just paste it here. Okay, after pasting it, I'm going to standard deviation value. Okay, what was that? It was mean value for group 2. So basically mean value for group 2 is this. I'll copy this, and then I'll paste this. Then I'll go to then I'll go here, and then I'll click Control C, and then I'll paste it here. I don't want to make any mistakes, so I'll make sure if it is correct. So basically I'm rechecking it. So 26 20, okay, 26 20, okay, 22 and 15, okay, 22 and 15, yes. Now I'll click on calculate now. After calculating, as you can see, I've got my p-value, and it says that the two-tailed p-value equals 0.5581. By conventional criteria, the difference is considered to be not statistically significant. So basically what I'll do is I'll just copy this, and I'll just paste the answer here. Control V. Why it is like this? Okay, no problem. So basically I'll just click this column and okay, I've increased its font size, and as you can see, the two-tailed p-value equals 0.5581, and by conventional criteria the difference is considered not to be statistically significant. So basically you can see from these two options, the option 1, that is this one, the if my p value is greater, then it would be statistically less significant. Okay, so you can say the p value that I've calculated is very high. So therefore this was the end of part 1 of the video. So yeah, that's all, and for the part 2 I'm going to make it. So thank you so much for joining for part 1, and stay tuned. Thank you.